Well, I think we are. I've done all of my social media postings, so I think we're ready to actually make some stuff happen. We are going to have the DLC turned on. I mean, we can watch the little blurb.
A void ship is the living embodiment of a rogue trader's power. Filled with mysteries, unexpected allies, and true horrors.
Yeah, we're going to have the DLC turned on today. And just double check that my microphone's facing the correct direction. We're going to be playing on daring, which is essentially just 100%. We're gonna move that down to 0 actually. So we are playing on what is essentially 0% modifiers. So this is the flat base game, the difficulty as designed originally by the devs. Before they figured out that daring was too hard to be the standard difficulty. So, we're going to continue on. Obviously, we're making a completely custom character. I do have a build in mind already. So, she's pretty swaggy. He's got some fucking looks and shit. You know, yeah, I think we're gonna go with this guy. And then it's gonna actually already assign us a model that looks vaguely like him. There's a little artifact in there that I've never noticed on the right shoulder joint. That's fine. I mean, it's a CRPG.
Something of interest.
I am but a vessel for the higher purpose. To arms!
Ruinous favor prevails.
Curiosity.
Let's do +10 to fellowship, which is great. We are actually going to be I thought about Commissar, because Commissar does have some interesting abilities. Basically, we have the ability to, like, make it so that our next attack, if it's an enemy, marks them, and if someone kills them, they get an extra turn. Or we can shoot an and then there's a bunch of upgrades where, like, you can make it so that you know, you get extra AP if your servant kills something, or if your servant is adjacent to you at the start of your turn, you both gain temporary wounds, or you can give your servant extra AP, give your servant extra movement. if your servant starts to get low on health, it allows you to change who is your servant, which I think is very neat. Our triumph is going to be, all of these are basically fine, I guess. Our triumph is going to be Apex of Brilliance for a little bit of persuasion bonus. Your strong presence and persuasiveness stopped a feudal war between neighboring systems. That's fine. Our darkest hour is going to be Shadow of Torment. You were kidnapped for ransom, and your captors mistreated you up until the moment you were released, suffering -5 to carouse, which is fine. We will have people to carouse for us. And we're going to be an officer. Now, I know Blade Dancer's the new class from the DLC, but we'll be getting a Blade Dancer. But I want an officer. And by being an officer, this means that the first companion you get who is an officer can actually focus on her other abilities more, which are far more interesting for her. As a navigator, she is the navigator character, so I want her doing navigator things rather than officer things. So I will be the officer. Let's see. And then obviously we want our fellowship as high as it'll go. Intelligence can go up a little bit. I want a little bit of ballistic skill. Well, actually, let's... Yeah, And then... See, here's the thing. I don't actually know. I know that Officer uses Fellowship for like 90% of their stuff. And I want to move after that into Grand Tactician. Or Master Tactician. What does Master Tactician? They also use effect. Ballistic skill, Fellowship. Might actually drop 1 point from Fellowship to get Perception up, because Perception is going to help us reduce enemy dodge chance, which is good. Honestly, I don't even know if I need intelligence for anything, if I'm being really honest with you. Because, like, this is pure Fellowship. This is also pure Fellowship. Fellowship and Willpower. So that's willpower based. Okay, yeah, so actually, no, I don't need this intelligence. I need a little bit of willpower. In that case, then, actually... Yeah, fuck it. Will Fellowship, Willpower, Ballistic Skill. And for our ship, ship name. Ship name. What are we gonna call this ship? Fear not the dark. And we're actually going to look up real quick what is... I think I have my, on my viewer. We're going to look something up real fast. Latin for light. Oh, you know what? That's fair. You know what? We are going to do something stupid and tacky. We are playing as Phosphoros, which is Greek for bringer of light. Phosphoros, captain of the Fear Not the Dark. Because I think that's silly and stupid. And silly and stupid is kind of the peak of Warhammer, if you will.
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify.
An interesting perspective. However, allow me to offer you a bit of advice. In the interests of your own well-being, you should frame your thoughts with greater piety Demonstrating such a lack of care when choosing your words might be viewed by certain people as evidence of insufficient trepidation before the God Emperor, the master of humanity.
I merely criticize the talentless architects of this place, nothing more.
I understand, but the particularities of my craft have made me a perceptive individual, capable of seeing through to the root of things. Unlike millions of his devout servants. Trust me, your words could easily be interpreted a different way, especially by one inclined to do so. Allow me to introduce myself. Kunrad Voitvir, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencius, at your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
I am Duke Phosphoros Eos Venria de Valaf Calixis. You may call me your grace.
My deepest respects to you, your grace. A noble of the Imperium. It's been a long time since Providence last brought such eminent guests aboard this vessel. I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valencius, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with Her Ladyship. Bear it with honor.
You say I am one of the Rogue Trader's heirs, so there is another candidate?
There is, and you will meet him soon enough.
Lord Captain is such a strange title for the Lady Theodora.
Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis at the time when the first rogue traders entered the God Emperor's service, and therefore, it is sacrosanct.
You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities?
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valencius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Indeed. Ah yes, I forgot. We start with nothing but a dinky little stub revolver. The universe's least powerful gun. I'm going to touch things. Mercenary Steward. So many noble guests and such. Ugh. Bring up the...
One of the von Valencius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening?
Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
Violence it is, then.
Oh my god. Sorry for being so yawny, folks. Just a little tired today. I don't know when we're going to get the chance to look at the little lore blurb, but for anybody new, a servitor is a kind of lobotomized cyborg that the Imperium uses for...
Easy.
that did not actually affect him. Okay, probably because he doesn't count as an ally. Can I voice of command him?
I know what to do.
Okay, voice of command applied. That's good. Oh no, it does look like you serve me also applied. So this is part of the reason why I chose this class in concert with this background. You see, you serve me gives +5 to all characteristics. And right now, voice of command gives +15 to all characteristics. +20 to all characteristics for a turn is an insane buff to hand out.
Death to the heretics!
Of course, this guy's going to immediately die. Because even with +20 to his agility, his chance to dodge was straight up 0, actually. That's fine. Because now I can come over here. I can hit this person with voice of command. Shoot the servitor again myself, which is now gaining the benefit of Voigtvir's joint analysis. Why is Voigtvir's joint analysis so bad? Why are you so stupid? Hold on. I don't think your stats are supposed to be that low, my god. Did I fuck up the difficulty? Zero, 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 zero. 0, 0. No, everything looks good. Strange. I guess Conrad's just shitty. I was really hoping we might be able to save at least one of these people.
As said, so done.
How? Oh, okay. Or not.
Not my area of expertise.
Alright, well. This guy's gonna come over here, boy.
Die!
Oh. That almost hit me.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan. I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
The wires in the servitor's head are still smoldering. It would seem the cause of this malfunction was a short-circuiting of the motive force. The motive force is what they call electricity in the 41st millennia. It is revered as 1/3 of the holy triumvirate that makes up the Omnissiah, the god of the machine cult. A tarantula sentry gun, constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using a standard template construct in the manufactorums of Kieva Gamma. This is kind of her, like, trophy room, which really goes to show the scale of the wealth on display when you can have an entire main battle tank as a display item. You know, plus countless little alien baubles. This exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House von Valancius's valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. Anyways, I've never actually explored before. I usually just run straight to Theodora in my test games. That's some
Let's
very
seize the moment.
ostentatious. Okay, so we can't go past them. They've set up a barrier. Couple big ass statues. Oh, this must be... Yeah, okay, so this is like a pair of statues. One is meant to be representative of like a High Lord of Terra, or maybe even the Emperor himself. Although usually the Emperor is depicted as having a... Oh no, there's the halo. Yeah, I guess this is Big E himself handing down our warrant of trade to our distant ancestor. What a fascinating little bit.
Forge ahead, never linger.
Here I am, running to my spot.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
Survey the room. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all signs of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valancius's features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate, which is a handheld computer. The other is a behemoth bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons.
Our second candidate has joined us. Approach and give me your answer. Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Koronus Expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
Now, we already passed the Lore Xenos and Lore Warp check, because these were very easy checks. Despite my turning the difficulty modifier off, these are still remarkably easy. In fact, I'm pretty sure... Let me just double check this. Yeah. Skill test difficulty modifier is 0% right now. It could go as high as 75, which means that this check could have as high as plus 135 to it. But I think we're going to go with our background option. Why should I concern myself with making this decision? I always have servants on hand to whom I can delegate matters such as this, just as you have delegated it to me.
What a convenient arrangement. Until one of those servants realizes it would be quite convenient for them to remove such a master and replace him with someone else.
Relinquishing authority is...
Oh shit, fuck.
Ignorant upstart. How dare you?
Relinquishing authority is tantamount to inviting rampant heresy and dangerous free thinking into your midst. Judging by your lackadaisical mindset, Phosphoros, I would wager that such a fate has already befallen your domain. I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was still more than you could do, Edelthrad.
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
So, why are you here?
There are questions I wish to have answered.
You are direct. I approve. But you will have to wait. There is something I want you to understand first. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
one of? Does this mean there are others?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Ethelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate. Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you. To us.
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voitvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
Just goes to show you, folks. Never be important at your job. If you are satisfied with Ethelthrad, then what sense is there in having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me?
Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Ethelthrad as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Koronus Expanse. Your noble descent is a sign that power lives in your very flesh and blood. You would never doubt your words or actions. Never show weakness. Never let an involuntary gesture or a careless word betray your fears or agitation. At least, if your upbringing was as thorough as mine was in my time. Many will grovel at your feet. Governors, commanders, highborn navigators, conceited lords. And you cannot allow them to sense weakness in the one who stands above them.
They would never sense weakness in me, for there is none. The true-born of the phosphorus line do not know fear.
Moreover, your remarkable mental abilities were noted in your profile. If you can find a way to exhibit them in the service of the von Valancius dynasty, well, so much the better.
Am I smart? Did we make me smart? I can't remember that. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now?
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
Where are we going?
The Rykad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Koronus Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykad on the demand for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
What are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Ethelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked crew.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
In order, a technomat is a normal person who has been taught how to do technical things with computers and machines, but not inducted into the creed of the machine gods cult. The warp is hell. It's made up of the energy generated by every living creature's dreams and darkest desires. Gellerfields stop the warp from warping things in real life or inside spaceships during travel, because spaceships in the Warhammer universe travel through hell. Further faster than light travel. It's not
Lady
great.
Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
Cogitators are computers.
In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
Oh no, we're being attacked again.
Emperor, protect me.
Follow my lead. Reduced to dust.
Stay vigilant.
That's interesting.
Death to the heretics.
Chaos guides me. Death to non-believers.
Count me out.
None of these people count for the purposes of my ability. That is annoying. If I move here.
They won't expect this. Done and done.
I bring ruin.
Death to the weak. I serve the ruinous powers. Out of my way.
Oh, the Imperium.
A tactically sound approach.
Break them up. For the glory of the Imperium.
Chaos guides
I
me.
took care of this one.
Shoot you in the head. My ultimate power move. Bang.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
What are your orders?
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
Excellent. Forward.
Onward to victory. I won't do that.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff...
Mort,
God damn
pull
it.
yourself together.
I think it's a little twitchy today. Ugh.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
We must provide immediate assistance to those still on the middle decks. Perhaps then we might stop this wave from spreading.
First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the Navigator's Sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-Militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psyker powers.
Then it's settled. Find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
I hear and obey, Lord Captain.
Then move out! Mort, come.
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
I shall make do. Lead the way, Coonrad.
Of course you will. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant.
With a pop and a sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable, gut-wrenching pain. Oh, my spliggledy spooch! Ugh. Of course we are being betrayed by our spy master. Who else would fucking betray you in a video game? Oh my god, I'm so foggy today. I'll be right back, folks. I'm just gonna go get an energy drink out of the fridge real quick.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warren Chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Hello. I have returned with my energy drink. Wait there, you two-faced scum. You are the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel, an ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, fond Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry, pathetic excuse do you even have for your apostasy, you sordid, wretched piece of grox shit?
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind. Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous wench Von Valencia's watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
The blade flashes in the dim light, and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, and your head is spinning. And then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your own thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Bing bong. Why bing bong? I am aware of that. Get out. I am not your puppet. The voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence, forcing you onto your feet and making you take a step toward the gate, looming in the center of the chamber. Examine the device. You carefully inspect the design of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of archaeotech relic. The servicer on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp, metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voice that fills your head after Voidfear wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Examine the Sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of an ordinary automaton. Look for anything that can be used as a weapon. You look around in hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or protruding piece of rebar in sight. Put your hand in the Sentinel's mouth. The Sentinel's jaw clamped around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath, maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel, the cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Yes, I do require assistance. Aid me immediately. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly. It would seem that the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Well, there is still another way.
Ow. I am injured. I am hurt. What is... Anyways, here's the warrant of trade. You know, the statue made it look like it was like a thing that a human being could hold, but, this bitch kind of fucking, large. You know, rolls up all the way down there. And it's not even like the words are very big, you know? Like, these are still pretty... This is like, what, size 30 font? Not particularly large. Let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade, to be the paragon of humanity, unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk blah 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 blah. I promise you just 2 seconds longer.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
Who the fuck are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
Are you the Warrant Sentinel?
Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need a weapon.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
Can I contact somebody?
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Voxmaster, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Excellent. Seal the warrant chamber.
Master, whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me, what is the meaning of this?
Conrad Voitvir is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Voitvir openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saint's blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Master. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense.
Excellent. Armored body glove to go on under my dope-ass coat. A gun. A sword. And I can't use a medkit. But Abelard can. Hello,
What
Abelard.
advice do you seek?
Heal
This
me.
wound will make a fine. That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
What can we expect to find in the navigator's sanctum?
During warp transit, the sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Imperium. And for good reason. For the navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the immaterium. Only a navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Well, hot diggity fucking damn, Abelard, lead the way.
Come.
Loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might, destroy those who have dared!
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward! Run, fools, or fall!
Your Emperor won't save you!
Abelard! Oh my god. Fighting for my life here to get Abelard to just charge in a straight line. Cleave them in twain. Brace for impact.
Chaos guides me.
So Abelard is a warrior with I think the Navy officer background, which means he specializes in melee combat and being really hard to kill. We're just gonna walk over here, actually. Give Abelard all of our various buffs and such. Now we have a stub revolver that can burst fire. So we could do... we could burst fire if we wanted to, but there's a chance to hit Abelard. So we're actually just gonna shoot, we're just gonna shoot a guy.
That is how it's
Bang.
done.
Death to non-believers.
Alright. So Abelard now has crazy stats. Like real, like genuinely pretty crazy stats. So we're gonna cleave.
Victory is...
And then we're gonna I can't charge and then actually hit this guy because I'm too far away. I guess we'll just charge to here just to charge.
I know what to do.
Bang. Miss. And I can't voice of command Abelard again because it has a 1-turn cooldown, but it also afflicts them with the overexerted effect for 2 turns. Parry.
Death to the weak.
My ears
Ow.
are ringing.
My bones.
I will do my...
Kill that guy. Kill that guy. Yep, 1 more turn before I can do that again. But you have approached me at my preferred range, so I'm gonna just miss again. Just keep missing. It's fine. Reload the gun.
I serve the ruinous powers.
And then he tries to run because he doesn't want to be in melee, and he gets cut down like a fucking dog. because Abelard's awesome. Oh, and so here we see one of the big difference between weapons. So solid projectile weapons tend to have higher damage and armor piercing, and also a higher chance to penetrate cover. But laser weapons have lower recoil, generally speaking, more ammo, and are way harder to dodge. On that note, though, I don't want a las pistol because it doesn't have a single shot ability. So we're just gonna, all that's going straight into cargo. And then we got
souls
our first level up,
salvation,
which gives us our first skill, which is going straight into persuasion. So now we have 75 persuasion, which is pretty banging for level 1, not gonna lie. You're gonna get, you got a skill 2, you're getting carouse. 60 carouse is pretty decent. Abelard, yeah, Abelard's whole thing is just that he's tough, he's strong, and he hits like a fucking tank in melee. And he also starts with, if I remember correctly, heavy armor proficiency. So he's real good at not taking damage. He begins the game wearing his Seneschal's Trusty Carapace, which has high armor percentage and good deflection for this level.
I forge my own
I
success.
also want to look at this. Yeah, so base value is 17. Right now we have pretty similar like HP pools, but because his toughness is so much higher than mine, as we go further along, he will inevitably become tougher than me. We're going to set ourselves to this, but we're actually going to put myself in the very back line, which I think is here, and Abelard hold on. So if you're here, which is 1, 2, 3 spaces down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And then Abelard was here. So we go 1, 2, 3. Over to here, yeah. Which is exactly the formation we were already in, but like I want to be in the back. I have no interest in being in the front, even slightly.
The Navigator's Sanctum is directly along the passageway.
And so, he will enter the halls of the blinded guide and witness the radiance of the final dawn through the cracks and fall victim to a whim of fate.
Master, watch your head.
Dodge roll.
Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abelard, how they sing!
This is Idira Tlas, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valancius. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate, to die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn, and in the roaring blaze I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer.
The entity in your consciousness shrinks and crawls in deeper, its claws scraping against the walls of your mind as if the presence is trying to hide from the seer standing before you. A diviner, are you?
The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are Fon Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
Officer's frequency. To all who can hear me, those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Ethelthrat. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Ethelthrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it. You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
What are you doing here?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the Enginseer Prime is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the Navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the Navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
Well, then let's save the Navigator.
Oh, no. No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
Alright, we got our first Psyker! Oh, I'm not at all in the position I thought I was supposed to be. Okay. Adira, you actually can join me down here in the bottom row for now.
Let's seize the moment.
So Adira is a...
My whispers crave
is a
entertainment.
Psyker, and it is two kinds of Psyker. She's a telepath and a diviner. Divination is mostly about buffs. Telepathy is about control. Starting abilities are Forewarning, which gives a bonus to dodge and parry, and Psychic Shriek, which does a little bit of damage. I also planned for her to mostly be doing Psyker stuff, rather than doing operative things. There's other operatives we can get down the line that can actually do operative things, but I want her to mostly be a Psyker. In particular, I'm hoping to get to play around with things like maybe not dominate, but sensory deprivation, which will allow me to blind people. And then that can lead into things like mind rupture or psychic assault. Psychic assault's pretty neat. It basically is just a big cone of psychic shriek that stuns people, and then that can lead into mind rupture, which allows you to point at someone and they take a bunch of damage and then they attack their enemies, which is fine. And then foreboding can do a bunch of other stuff. In particular, it gives like defensive buffs. So like I can put down a dodge area, I could give them bonus mental stats, which could lead into like perfect timing, which basically makes it so that the next time they dodge or parry, they make an attack back. Precognition is allows Adira to take multiple turns per round. Normally you only get 1 turn per round, but she could possibly have 2. And then it terminates in prophetic intervention, which is essentially just if an ally falls unconscious in battle, Adira gets a free turn during which she can point at them and say, "You don't get to die." And that's pretty neat. And then if I want to, I can also give her new power sets, pyromancy, biomancy, sanctic powers. But yeah. That's the kind of stuff she does. She does psyker stuff. Abelard, forward, Bosporos there, Adira there.
Out of my way!
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Harry.
Out of my way!
Covered. Alright, yeah, so here we go. So she also has a psychic staff, which allows her to shoot, which allows her to use the lightning arc ability, which will do a little bit of damage to up to 4 targets, which means that actually we really don't want to use this because it'll hit Abelard. Or we could use it over here. It's also her only major psychic power, which means it's going to increase our Veil bar by 3. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to hit 4 warning on Abelard. We're going to do a quick little analyze enemies on the Heretic Psyker, and then we are going to just Psychic Shriek him for a bit of damage.
I am your doom!
Abelard. Brace for impact.
Indeed.
Cleave.
Reduce to dust.
Charge. Abelard gets his buffs.
Let's set this in motion.
Body is not his.
I can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation. Leave the warp. But it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help.
I want to help. Tell me how.
Run. The sanctum will be sealed. I will hold it off. Hold on. And wait for the signal from the Master Helmsman. Then I will commence the translation. So, run. Run.
Alright, address Abelard. The Navigator is still alive, but barely so. What do we do now?
The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the Master Helmsman, if he is still alive. It is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Edelthrad and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora there. She must have heard the call to arms that the servo skull relayed to us earlier.
Vespidas, good luck. And thank you.
The Navigator does not give her a response. Black tears mixed with blood are streaming from under the closed eyelids, and the Vox at the base of the chair is bellowing out static interspersed with distant echoes of otherworldly laughter. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll fucking do it. Alright, we are going to keep... We're gonna do that. We're gonna keep one axe. We're keeping an axe because our good friend here can dual wield, which doesn't actually do anything useful for us, but the axe does do a little bit of bleed damage. And bleed stacks with itself, I think. So against high health enemies, we can hit them with the axe over the chainsword and stack up some bleed stacks.
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
Well, I don't really know which weapon he uses. No, actually, I might want to put this in his secondary equipment slot. just in case. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Okay, yeah. Then we're getting out of here. There was also another psychic staff in that loot pool, but it was the same staff she already has, so no need to take that with us.
Your ship's as good as ours! It's all over for you!
I shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Somebody shoot this...
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my Emperor.
The white-haired warrior turns to face you, her dark eyes blazing. The weapon quivers in her hands, and for a brief moment it seems she is not going to stop, and will instead continue eliminating every target she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta! Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
Your face, it is unfamiliar. Who are you?
Phosphoros von Valancius, the Lord Captain's heir.
The hour is dark and daunting. The ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the archenemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the dark forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Edelthrad the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation, so I suggest we all do just that.
The Seneschal is right. There is no time to talk.
Very well. We may leave it at that. For now. I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
There is no time for talk, except I passed a skill check, so we're gonna talk. What is a warrior of the Adeptus Sororitas doing aboard a rogue trader's ship? Your orders serve the ecclesiarchy, do they not?
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation. Under more appropriate circumstances.
Enough idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
Oh, what's happening on the officer's deck?
Massacre, my lord. And heretics are not just killing the crew. Some kind of blight is sweeping through the decks, filling the air. I saw people going mad the moment they breathed it in, screaming about seeing their dead comrades, tearing out their eyes. I implore you, my lord, be on your guard.
Okay, well, let's fucking do this shit.
Through this door. I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a Tectomat with us. But we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Alright. We've acquired our third companion. Sister Argenta, who is a, soldier. She's also one of the few characters you start with who can actually use bolters, which are some of the more powerful weapons. They have good damage, good armor piercing, generally speaking, decent range, and a high rate of fire. She is also, if I remember correctly, yes, able to wear power armor. Not that we have any, but normally you need to, I think you need to either, that's either a talent you have to take, or there's some, like, story beat later on down the line that lets you acquire power armor proficiency, but she just automatically has it. She also has flame weapon proficiency, which is not a standard proficiency, even slightly. Although he has melta weapon proficiency, which I've never noticed before. Yeah, and her starting abilities are Run and Gun and Furious Recital. Furious Recital allows her to gain the group extra momentum based on how many enemies are around her, or how many enemies she has damaged, whichever is higher. Run and Gun just lets her, gives her extra movement, and then lets her next attack cost less AP and doesn't end her turn, basically. And she's a soldier, which means she's good at soldierly things. Starting with Demolition. She's going to be kind of specializing into burst, like burst attacks, and also area attacks. So I think our first talent for her is going to be what she do. Anyways.
Marching ahead.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, I want her in the back row with me. We got our well-maintained stub revolver, which is the exact same gun. It just has +1 maximum damage. And then we're gonna send the other one to cargo.
Venture forth.
Cargo, by the way, is just it's where loot goes. So we have unlimited inventory space on our person, but we also have our cargo space on our ship, which is where, like, loot we plan to sell goes. Because yeah, well, I mean, we don't even actually sell the loot, because as a rogue trader, we are so unfathomably wealthy, even now, at the start of the game, that we could purchase anything we want in the universe, really. Up to and including, like, planets and shit. So rather, we trade our cargo for reputation. So that people are more likely to give us things that are good versus things that are shitty.
Forge ahead, never linger.
Alright, let's just...
Brute force it is then.
Alright, Abelard, you're just gonna go all the way up. Argenta, into cover, into cover, into cover. Start the battle. So Argenta, just off rip, immediately is just going to go shoot, 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 and get Oh, he's just outside my optimal range. That's... Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Abelard takes a little bit of damage. Takes a little bit of damage.
Brace yourself, Abelard!
Idira. Lightning Bolt. Those guys. Actually, before we risk... So, another mechanic that's important to note is that every power that Idira casts has a chance to go wrong. And because she is unsanctioned, she is a wild psyker, essentially, she has double the chance for things to go wrong. So every minor power she casts has a 6% chance to trigger a psychic phenomena, and every major power she casts has a 24% chance to trigger a psychic phenomena. And then once the bar gets up to 15, right now it's at 1, once it gets up to 15, the chance of phenomena doubles, and you also gain a chance to trigger Perils of the Warp, which is bad. But we don't have to worry about that, kind of, so just Psyker. And then analyze that guy.
Such is the will of chaos.
I don't know why it's Adira's turn again, but it is, which allowed her to get a couple extra free exploits. Abelard, my boy, my friend, my bunny rabbit. Stand there, kill that guy. Which does not give you enough room to charge forward and actually take an attack, but you can still charge. And then you are going to Brace for Impact. Brace for Impact is a pretty basic ability. Just gives him extra deflection and stops him from being moved by enemies.
I'll do it.
Argenta just take a little shoot at him. Can't really do a whole lot else. On account of you are winded, and while winded, you cannot run and gun again. That's fine.
I've suffered worse.
Phosphoros! Idira. Voice of Command. Congratulations, you have a bunch of extra stats now.
Just a minor setback.
Crush the feeble!
Aha. You have tragically fallen directly into my trap. Dodge on
what
her.
is to come.
Analyze on him. And lightning bolt. Cleave. Shoot him.
As the
Run
Emperor
into
commands,
gun.
I act.
To shoot him. And that's how we do it, folks. Just wanna do a hit roll. I don't super understand where this ballistic skill penalty is coming from, because it's not important. It's not important. It's just it's there and it annoys me. All of that goes to cargo. Goes to cargo. Run around and make sure we check all the loot and stuff. Cargo. Got a door here we can open.
Perfect. Stay sharp.
Which unlocked here, where there's some more loot. Ah yes, operator's gloves. For that slight bonus to tech use. I guess we are a little smart. Ah, yes. So multi-keys allow you to try to open locks a second time if you fuck it up the first time, and then machine write sets do the same thing, but for computers. And then melted charges are for blowing shit up if you fuck up unlocking it again. And if it is a thing that could reasonably be blown up. Because, you know, not everything can
Let's seize the moment.
And some more loot. Like this door, which we're about to blow up.
I better myself through my
Exploded.
service.
And that got us a level up. So now we are getting one of our keystone abilities. We get Bring It Down, which allows us to give an ally an extra turn with a little bit of AP, but no movement. And if they kill someone, we get a bunch of extra momentum. Abelard is going to get Endure, which gives him reduction based on his toughness and temporary wounds based on his level, which is very nice. Idira gets Exposed Weakness, which we are never going to use. On her, at least. Actually, I don't think I want to use it on anybody, because I'm not super sure it works the way it says it does. Because it says it's supposed to reduce dodge, parry, and armor by 15, plus exploits removed times perception bonus, right? So if someone's got 5... if someone's got 5 exploits, then it should reduce all of those stats by 15 plus 20, which is 35. But I have noticed in the past it does not always properly account for this multiplier. Which I'm not sure why, if I'm being honest. Anyways, You get a much better ability. You get Revel in Slaughter, which is every 3 kills, she can activate Revel in Slaughter to give her a stacking 10 ballistic skill, 15 critical damage, and 5 critical hit chance. And again, this is a stacking bonus. So if she kills 8 people, she can use it 4 times. Admittedly,
we should deal with this.
She does not always have the she doesn't always have the action points necessary, but
marching ahead.
Yeah, see, if I want, I could tech use at a 73%, but I could also melt a charge at a 95%. There we go. And that gives us the deck officer's helmet, which is going on Abelard for that extra 5% armor. And then we're also turning off Abelard's helmet, because I like Abelard's face. I want to see my old man.
Venture forth.
I want to see my old man's face. The roar of the flames rings in your ears, and the choking smoke makes you cough and gasp for air. You instinctively recoil from the scorching heat, wiping your face. A moment later, a hazy silhouette forms in the raging wall of fire. You are surrounded by ear-splitting noise and screaming, yet you distinctly hear the sound of footsteps. And then you see the figure walking out of the fire towards you. It is Theodora von Valancius.
Are you lost, my heir?
An apparition. A sorceress. Apparition. Trickery of the warp.
Sister, you will lower your weapon. Threatening the Lord Captain is outrageous.
This is impossible.
I doubt you are aware of the limits of what is possible. For your worldview is but an iota of what a rogue trader knows and sees. But I can tell that you would like me to share that knowledge with you. That power over reality.
Sorry, folks, 1 second. Hold on, where's the link? There's supposed to be a link in that. Can't fucking do an insert. Save. Nothing is ever going correctly. That's on me, though. I should have been paying more attention. Anyways.
I can lead you out of these flames, show you a path, rid you of pain, and give you a weapon so that you may defeat your enemies. Decide.
Your mouth begins to salivate. Each word Theodora speaks is like music to your ears. The entity that now dwells in the deepest recesses of your mind is pleading, begging, demanding that you give her an immediate answer, and that answer can be nothing other than acceptance.
Do not listen to this abomination. If there is naught but his light in your heart, if you are resolute in your faith, then step into the flames. The Emperor protects. His faithful will not be deterred by either darkness or deceitful promises. Nor will the fire burn those who carry the torch of faith in their soul.
To the void with you. We need to follow Lady Theodora before we suffocate in this furnace.
The people! The survivors from the middle decks! We must help the crew! Lead them out! Find a way around!
Then we'll miss our chance to meet up with Edel. What are we waiting for?
We will walk through the fire. The Emperor will guide the righteous on their path. Thousands of needles pierce your consciousness, but are powerless to stop you. You take a step forward and the illusion breaks. A wave of excruciating pain crashes over you, and Theodora's voice fades into the firestorm. You hear the voices of your companions calling you from behind, and the screams of the weak dying in the inescapable blaze. We go forward. The blinding inferno, the harrowing pyre, the all-consuming storm releases you as you step out, barely able to stay on your feet. The blood is pounding in your ears, drowning out the world around you. Your eyes, caked in soot and burnt eyelashes, refuse to open. Free from the flames, you take 2 more steps before collapsing to your knees. The rush of blood in your temples and the horrible pain all over your scorched body cloud your mind, before suddenly retreating, as if driven away by some mighty will. A new strength spreads throughout your veins, and despite the wounds, your body is once more ready for trials and struggle. You open your eyes and see, aglow with warm light before you, the Aquila, the sacred symbol of the Imperium, the 2-headed eagle. In the next moment, you are struck with another realization. The repulsive presence, the one that has plagued your mind since Voidvir wounded you, is gone. The fire seems to have burned away the entity without a trace.
Master, can you hear me? Oh, you're alive. Which is more than I was expecting after what you just did.
Praise the Emperor. We passed through the flames. How can this be anything but a portent? For so it is said that the Emperor will bless the worthiest and most steadfast in their faith.
Behind Argenta, you see Adira clasped, doubled over in a fit of nausea. The rest of the people who were following you have withered away in the fire that continues to rage, mere 2 steps away from you. The Emperor protects Seneschal.
Indeed he does. If I hadn't seen it myself, I never would have believed.
What happened to Lady Theodora? Did she follow us?
There was no Theodora, witch. There was an illusion, a temptation, a foul taint that tried to lead us astray. But he perceived its true nature.
Is that right, Adepta Sanctimonious? What, we'll just pretend like we didn't see the Lord Captain standing there in the fire? Abelard, you tell her!
Whatever it was, it matters no longer. Your conduct is bordering on madness, or holiness. A path opened behind you, where one moment there was fire, the next only smoldering embers remain. But what am I saying? My eyes must have deceived me. Too much smoke for my lungs. Truly, would you have received wounds like these if there had been no fire?
The wounds are merely a sign of a trial laudably passed. It is something to be proud of, the same as decorations or badges of honor.
Allow Abelard to help you up. Admittedly, I've been better. Even if you were anticipating another wave of pain, it does not come. Your muscles feel strong, and your limbs obey you without fail. And yet deep inside, somewhere next to your heart and stomach, you feel a certain tension, akin to that of a taut string. You are at your limit. Be it adrenaline or the strength of your faith, it will not carry you much farther. It will carry me exactly as far as I need it.
Deceive me. I could swear that I just witnessed you step out of a pillar of fire with the rest following in your wake.
Well, you know how I loathe being late for an engagement.
Nothing good ever comes of such rashness. Yet it appears that the Emperor favors you. Be that as it may, your wounds are highly worrying.
Lore Warp, look closely at Ethelred. Ethelred does not seem to have changed since you first met, but only at first glance. His face has taken on a strange hue. The skin at his temples appears scaled, and his voice now has an uncanny screeching quality. These are not traces of fatigue and stress. The psyker's body has begun to mutate, a consequence of the warp. Well, I mean, you're not in the best shape yourself, cousin.
Noticed the signs of my blessing, have you? Yes, the warp is taking its toll. But I'm still sane and able to hold my weapon. I'll fight for the Von Phalanxius bloodline to the end. And if the price is the eternal curse of mutation, so be it.
Our faith will keep us upright with weapons in hand. That is all that matters.
Pray, forgive my insistence. I shall not be the one to doubt the faith of he who has passed the trial by fire. I have gathered everyone who answered the Vox call and was able to hold a weapon. Yet I do not see the Lord Captain or her arch-militant in our midst. We are still receiving messages in her voice, but she is not responding to direct requests. I last saw Lady Theodora on the observation platform. When did you and she part ways?
It was at this very elevator, Master Edelthrad. The Lord Captain, accompanied by the Arch-Militant, headed to her chambers to retrieve an item of particular import. After that, all we heard from her were Vox broadcasts.
This is troubling, and the timing is inopportune. I am still receiving fragmentary reports from the bridge. Kunrad Voigtvir was spotted there, and even what scant intelligence on his activities I have reminds me of descriptions of sorcerous rituals. If that traitor has resorted to witchcraft, we must stop him at once.
I shall go to Theodora's chambers to find her.
A reasonable approach. Take your escort with you. You may be waylaid. Once you have found the Lord Captain, you must beg her to go to the bridge and lead the counterattack. The rogue trader's appearance is sure to fill the defenders' hearts with hope, however frightened or exhausted they may be. Until next we meet, may the Emperor bless your deeds. I shall see you on the field of battle.
I'm following you this way
Let's
because
see this
there's
through.
a piece of loot. Oh, I'm wounded. Abelard, fucking fix that shit.
Outstanding. Now back to the front line.
Fix that shit. I don't want to be hurt. That shit hurts. Being hurt fucking hurts. Abelard.
Nothing can catch me off guard.
Spotted a secret door. Did I? Pretty sure I knew that door was there. We're also going to wear these. Nope, not you. You are also going to wear these until we find someone better to wear them. Again, did I spot a secret door? I don't think I did. Plasma conduits.
Stay sharp.
Interesting. To the Lord Captain's quarters, where we will hopefully find Theodora von Valancius. That's not great. That doesn't inspire confidence. Theodora von Valancius's body is sprawled on the large, blood-drenched desk. The arch-militant's corpse, still clutching a weapon, is slumped against one of the bulkheads.
Emperor, accept thy faithful souls. No! Lord Captain, I didn't hear a thing. Not a whisper, not a breath. It was so loud. Why didn't I foresee this?
Really put her whole heart into that.
Lord Captain, who would even dare? Unless that rat, Voidsphere.
I doubt it. Voidsphere wished humiliation and suffering upon Theodora.
It could have happened in the heat of battle. Not to mention that Mort was here, and he would have protected Lady Theodora to the last. How could Mort have failed her so terribly? The Arch-Militant was born on a death world. He had lightning-fast reflexes.
I can look at things in my own way. If you find something that might bear the imprint of the killer, just give it to me, and I'll try to see what secrets it holds.
You lean closer to the body. The cause of death is apparent. What ended the road trader's life was an auto pistol shot, an extraordinarily accurate one at that. Theodora's face bears an expression of surprise, the last emotion she experienced in life. Something on the floor catches your eye, a heap of blood-splattered parchments and scrolls that must have fallen off the desk. As you lean for a closer look, you notice something else. Small shards of glass scattered on the floor. Yadira, would you try touching Theodora? You might be able to see the killer through her eyes.
It doesn't work like that. I can try to read the memories of objects, but dead bodies are a different story. Something like that would require her soul. And after what we saw on the officer's deck, I won't risk searching for it in a warp.
Oh, thank you. Inspect the shards. It is difficult to say what exactly was broken. The object fell on the floor, and that is as much as you can ascertain. Upon closer examination, the shards appear iridescent rather than completely transparent, as if they had been submerged in promethium. What do the shards tell you, Adira?
I see streaks of color, luminescence, blue lights, faces drawing closer. Lady Theodora, and Conrad, and what is that? Ah! Something dark, enormous. Oh, this glass thing was something foul, that's for sure. Tainted witchcraft.
Inspect the papers. Reports, accounts, dispatches. You go over the scrolls until you stumble upon a document that is starkly different from the rest. It is a handwritten letter signed with the initials XC and sealed with a symbol that is vaguely familiar to you. Esteemed Theodora, a change in circumstances has demanded your immediate assistance in our mutual cause. Forthwith, upon receiving this letter and performing the necessary preparations of the crew, you are to depart for the Rykad system. One of my acolytes, Interrogator Heinrich van Kalox, operates there at present time. Upon your arrival in the system, you will, without delay, make contact with him and offer any assistance required of you, after which you will provide passage to the Furobundus system aboard your ship. On footfall, the interrogator will remove himself from your presence to await further instructions. Anticipating any questions you may have, I will stress that the nature of Interrogator Van Calix's activity in Rykad Minoris is of no concern to you. If required, Van Calix himself will disclose the details of his mission. May the Emperor's light be with you. XC. A symbol that is vaguely familiar to you and sends a shiver down your spine. The author of this letter, addressed to Theodora von Valancia, signed it with the seal of one of the holy ordos of the Emperor's Inquisition, the secret police of the Imperium that relentlessly hunts heretics, xenos, and other enemies of humanity. Inquisitors are crazy. All of them. Every single one of them is batshit insane. And they have unlimited authority to do basically whatever they want. Up to and including the destruction of entire worlds, if need be. Examine the Arch-Militant's body. An auto-pistol shot went straight through Mort's forehead, spraying the floor and the furniture around with blood, brain matter, and shards of his skull. The safety on the Arch-Militant's weapon is off. The killer must have been a split second quicker than he. Oh.
Yes, the crucible of battle calls to me once more. No, wait! We must see if we can find anything.
Idira, you can't bring her back. Let her go.
You'd give up so easily, old man? I expected as much from the sister. It's not like she has a heart. But you? Oh no. I'll get to the bottom of this. I'll find the one responsible for murdering the Lord Captain. And when I do, that scum will regret the day they were born.
Well, he definitely doesn't need this helmet anymore. Idira, congratulations. You're dogmatic, and now you have immunity to crits for the first 3 rounds of combat. And we're also going to immediately turn off show helmet for you. Loot that as well, and then loot that. These are for me. 10 bonus to Commerce and Lore Imperium. Don't mind if I diddly do. And +5 Fellowship for each enemies within 2 cells of me. I will take that straight to the fucking bank. Because we are going to be following Abelard into the breach. Which means hopefully there will be enemies around me. We'll just have to make sure that Abelard is the one getting hit and not me. Anyways,
onward to victory.
Make sure we're all in formation. Forward.
Looks like we have a problem on our hands.
Abelard there. Phosphorus there. Argenta there. Idira there. Start battle. Yep. We are going to go to here. We're going to cleave. We're going to endure. We're going to brace for impact. We're going to end our turn. We're going to go to here.
One step ahead.
Abelard. Prepare to
as said, so
murder.
Done.
I took care of this one.
Endure again, just for fun. So. So right now, that's actually 70. So this gave us, yep, 14 momentum. And then we are going to simply hit this guy.
I know what to do.
He parries us because we're not particularly good at melee combat, but that's fine. You're gonna come to here and then just fucking blast
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone!
And then you're gonna blast him. And then you're gonna Furious Recital. And then Adira, you're going to put dodge on me, actually.
Was that you? Or...
Why did I take a parries? Whatever. Lightning bolt. Zap. But we lost momentum for some reason. And I don't know why. Dodged.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. I will do my... Victory is imminent.
This time, I mean, I can't give you another turn, can I? I could, actually. But I'm not going to.
Easy.
Rookies! Gah!
Okay, you just miss horribly, that's fine too. Actually, step up. Melee superiority gives us what exactly? I can never remember. Bonus crit chance. Shoot. Reload. End turn. Dodge chance on Argenta. Analyze enemy. Screamy. Can this crit? No. Wait, why did analyze enemy give 50? Okay, hold on. 5 times perception bonus 4 damage. Increased by 10% for each exploit on the target. Okay, hold on. What is your perception bonus? 5 times 4, so it was 20%. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that tracks. Okay.
Reduced to dust!
It's fucking sword-fighted, jackass. And then we level up again. And we get the Grace of the Oblivion, which is a neat little toughness bonus toy. That we're gonna give to Abelard. It doesn't do anything, because toughness doesn't work like that, but hey, whatever. So now we get our ultimate ability, our heroic ability, Finest Hour. We give them a full extra turn with full AP and movement, and during that turn there is no limit to the number of attacks they can take. And also we get our first talent. So Commanding Voice is a good one to take because it's just extra range. But Steel Resolve is probably one of the better talents to take, but also whenever the officer makes an attack, they gain 5 fellowship until the end of the combat. That's fucking amazing, actually. Sorry, I've never played an officer before, so... So I also want these. You know? But these are common talents. And I don't want to use common talent. I don't want to use archetype talent slots on common talents. So I think what we're gonna do... Where did I see it? I think what we're gonna do is we're going to we're just gonna take Steel Resolve first, just for that flat +3 bonus to Resolve, because our Resolve affects how much momentum we get, and it also affects other abilities that we take in the future, like Blood of Martyrs, and some other stuff. I have to use the bathroom super bad right now. Give me 1 second, folks. We're going to... what about bathroom break sign? Alright, we are going to use the restroom real quick. We will be back in just a moment, folks. I'm back, folks. Which means we're back. Anyway, so Abelard gets his upgrade too. He gets Daring Breach, which means his heroic ability restores all of his action points and movement points, and also gives him extra movement points based on his agility. Gives him no limit on melee attacks, And he doesn't lose his MP after performing attacks, so he can like dash around and hit a bunch of people. And also he's going to get his first upgrade. We definitely want Desolation and Contempt. But and Epicenter of Slaughter. But before we can get those, hold on, how many warrior talents do we get? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 warrior talents. And I want a lot of these. I definitely want Clenched Teeth, because that's gonna make him basically invincible for the first... This actually, it says first attack made by every enemy in this combat. What it doesn't say is that it's first attack made by every enemy in the combat against him. So this actually lasts a lot longer than it looks. So I want Clenched Teeth and I want Thick Skin. But then also I want... I also want, like, Crowd to Kill. I guess we really do have to just decide if we're going to go God, there's just so many things I want. There's an unbearable number of things I want. Okay, we're gonna get Ramming Speed, and then we're gonna get Impetus. That's 2. And then after Impetus, we will get Contempt. And Desolation. Okay, no. We're getting Ramming Speed and we're getting Impetus. But what ability we take at level 6 might change things a little bit. So Ramming Speed and Impetus, for sure. Idira gets Dismantling Attack, which she's never going to use. But also, scroll right past all of that stuff. Alright, past all of the operative stuff into her, into her psyker stuff. So we're going to, I guess, first we have to decide if we're going to be doing damaging psyker things or supporting psyker things, because again, we have limited talent. We got one. Well, these are also common talents, actually. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 talents, which is actually a lot, because if we're doing all psychic stuff, yeah, fuck it. We don't really need to be super duper careful with this. Let's what is this? Perception? Yeah. Perception, willpower, and ballistic skill are going to be the important bits here, but we're going to start out with second sight, which just gives ranged psychic powers more range, which is good. Firearm mastery is amazing. She gets a bunch of extra attacks that are free. Each attack is an automatic crit if it's the first attack against that enemy, and she automatically reloads her weapon, which is good. Now, our first talent is going to be Demolition Engineer. I just realized I think I missed some loot earlier. That's fine. That's fine. So now she's going to use her demolition skill in place of her intelligence for her area attacks, which she doesn't have any of yet, but she will later. And she's also going to get concentrated fire, which is going to basically double the damage of her area attacks. So that's good. And then one of these, if I can find it. I guess one of them doesn't. Integrity, muzzle velocity, point blank. Ah, yes, we're also going to get point blank. Because one of the tragedies of area attacks is that they do not have very good armor pen. So they don't have great armor pen, and area attacks automatically do, ranged area attacks automatically do less damage. So the ignore 2 deflection is going to be amazing. Actually, it's ignore ballistic skill divided by 2, which is even better, because she's going to have some fucking ballistic skill. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, no, because actually I know for a fact there was a shotgun somewhere, which was going to go to her, but I missed it somewhere. And tragically, this is not you can't go backwards in this scene. There's no retreat. So forward, we go forward. 1 second, everybody. Somebody messaged me.
The first sacrifice opens the eye. The second sacrifice draws its gaze.
You are here. But where is the Lord Captain?
Theodora von Valancius is dead. I found her and the Archmilitant in her study.
God Emperor preserve us. The rogue traitor is dead. The ship has lost her Lord Captain, and the house its head. No matter what ritual Kunrad is performing there, the warp is too strong. I cannot withstand it. I feel my body changing with every second. The warp is ringing in the air. This is the end. We will perish in the warp, along with the Warrant and all the dynasty's heirs. The enemy of humanity has triumphed.
I've seen it before. We'd better get away from him. The changes are already accelerating.
Ethelthred, cousin, I forbid you the very thought of yielding. Only by resigning to your fate will you truly suffer defeat.
Words worthy of a righteous soul.
Save the lofty words for later, will you? The navigator's ready to take the ship out of the warp if he gets some help from the bridge.
Then we have no right to bow our heads.
You see Konrad Voitvir clearly in the gloom of the bridge. The broken blade he is holding is stained with dark drops that seem to have a pearlescent glimmer to them.
We are out of time!
Ethelthred bites his knuckles, desperately thinking. You see a wave ripple across the whites of Ethelthred's eyes, and they begin to turn a sickly yellow color. Voitvir, you duplicitous cur, the rogue traitor's death will be avenged.
What? Theodora is dead? No, that can't be. Not now. I still haven't...
The ritual will not be completed. I'll take care of it. And you, see to it that the void ship breaks free from the warp. Watch over our realm.
Ethelthred, don't! Your ritual won't be finished, heretic!
Rest in peace, Ethelthred. You might have been a bit of a dick, but you died a real one. Abelard, I'm gonna need you to do your fucking thing, buddy.
They won't expect this.
They won't.
I took care of this one.
Why is your result so high? Oh, I guess because I'm boosting all of your stats.
I know what to do.
Dodged. Dodged. I said she's never actually going to use it, but the truth is that this is actually a great opportunity for her to use it. so you're going to do that. You're just gonna scream that guy to death. You're gonna switch to your pistol. And you're just gonna fucking shoot that guy.
Double check your aim.
And miss. But it doesn't matter because it still applied the penalties. Abelard? Can you reach him from here? You can, because this device. How much? Hold on. How much extra range does this give you? 3. And charges normally 6, so it gives you 9 range. Okay, so go here, hit him.
At your beck and call. It
Hit
will
him.
be done.
Endure, but do not. Wow, okay. We fucked up our tests and fell prone. Still dodged that somehow.
It's nothing.
Is that my blood?
Well, this suddenly got really bad. Scream him to death.
Be gone.
Dodge on yourself. Abelard.
I will do my duty.
Fucking hit this guy. Hit this guy again.
It will be done.
From the cold embrace of death.
Wow, okay.
Emperor, deliver us.
Death to the weak!
I've suffered worse. Loss in our ranks.
Wow, okay. This is going poorly. This is going way worse than I thought it would.
There is movement in the Empyrean. On it.
Alright, well, dodge on Abelard before Abelard.
At your beck and call. It will be done. Injury is not an excuse to shirk one's duty.
We'll be honest. Not super sure what I expected to happen there. Thankfully, Abelard could probably handle this by himself, because he's gonna have to.
My place is at the fore.
Oh, fell over. We got Rending Screamed. We're taking a bunch of damage.
I will do my duty.
Fuck it. Just sit here and hit this guy.
It will be done.
Parry. Parry.
Indeed. Victory is imminent.
See, now I was going to exploit weakness on him, but now we're just kind of stuck in a fucking standing and hitting match like this is World of Warcraft.
It will be done. I've suffered worse. I will do my duty.
What a way to go, right? Despite melee superiority. So this guy got melee superiority on me? Oh, I guess he does. You know what? Take some fucking bleed
At your
damage.
beck and call. Brace yourself, Abelard. Victory is imminent. It will be done.
Okay, so bleed is not stacking. Alright, in that case, just switch back to the chainsword permanently. Okay, we got prone, so we're gonna lose a turn.
Setback. Not my worst day.
Which means Abelard is not looking great. Parry.
Time to prove
Hit,
my
that's
mettle.
fine. Okay, we passed the test so we can take bleed. We parried an attack, that's good. Parried 2 attacks, that's great. We have officially won this battle. Sweet Christ. What a fucking nightmare that was. Alright, that got us some stuff. Alright. So... Idira, you get these gloves because you occasionally just explode yourself. Abelard, you're my only iconoclast follower, so you get a Mantle of Heroism. That's good. We get a Blade Shard. We also get a level up, which is great. So, obviously, we took a head wound. That sucks. Are getting our fellowship up first. And then we get a common talent, so we're gonna do you go on, which is going to give Abelard +2 movement, as long as he's my servant, which is good. We took Impetus, or we took Ramming Speed, now we're taking Impetus, which is going to... I believe this is Strength and Toughness bonus as extra damage on charge. It is, which is crazy. Speaking of, we will be taking... we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I definitely want strength and weapon skill to hit 50. So we're only going to take 1 toughness. And then, yeah, because that's going to be 510, 510 for strength and toughness, or for strength and weapon skill. Yadira, your first point is actually going to go into your perception, and then we're going to go willpower and ballistic skill after that. Also, you've got second sight, so your next one is going to be psychic barrage. For plus ballistic skill bonus additional damage on targets that are further than 6 cells from her, which is good. Because I don't want her to be the closest target. You, my friend, are... You're going to put 1 in willpower. And then we're going to get point blank. So that 1 in willpower, because after that, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, everybody gets 4. Everybody gets 5. It's going to be ballistic skill and agility for dodge. Also, at some point, one of our soldier talents is going to have to be second skin. Because that's going to let us dodge at full... full dodge rate despite wearing medium armor, which is good. Good for multiple reasons. 1, it's just generally good, and 2,
the heir is dead.
And 2,
he sacrificed himself
to
save the
good
entire
because
dynasty.
that means that there's
A noble deed.
a better spread
Let the crew
of
offer prayers
items.
for the hero who renounced his impure life in the name of humanity.
Because otherwise she's gonna want light armor, which is gonna interfere with me wanting light armor, and Idira wanting light armor, and a bunch of other people wanting light armor. There's a bunch of other people. Oh, is this not the correct person?
Rivor, Master Helmsman, systems status report.
By the Emperor, it's the Seneschal, living and breathing. Oh, well, there's a tricky question. The old place is so overgrown with foul wickedry, we'll be scrubbing it off the vid screens for throne knows how long.
How did you survive here?
Must have been Providence. It better have been the Emperor's, not someone else's. When they barged in here, the ones with the Master of Whispers, some officers charged them, but it wasn't even a fight. I grabbed whoever I could and dragged them behind the cogitators. Then, I prayed for our rescue.
We must re-establish contact with the Navigator. It is our only chance of escaping. Your words seem to knock the officers out of their stupor, and the air around you fills with voices and commands being issued. You hear someone sobbing, one of the survivors buckling under the stress. Abelard cuffs the crying officer without even looking.
Restore the Vox channel to the Navigator's sanctum. Ready the crew. Prepare for translation to real space. You may call me superstitious, but translation is not a good time to disregard rules. You are the only one who speaks for House von Valancius. You may not be the Lord Captain, but you, more than anyone else, deserve to take her place in the ritual that is about to commence.
What must I do?
Take the Lord Captain's seat,
order the final preparations. Wait for the officers to report. Oh, blast it all to the void! Translation is a craft, not something that can be explained in a tick. Just go up to the throne, Master. These people are about to do the impossible. The least they deserve is the solace of seeing a figure sitting in the usual spot. Oh, please, hurry. Every second we waste is a terrible risk.
I am ready. Begin the ritual. The image before you is hazy, swaying in sorcerous currents, invisible to mortal eyes, as if whatever is beneath this thin shell is constantly changing while still remaining the same. It has taken on the guise of Theodora, but the false robe trader's eyes reveal the entity's true surreal nature. One of Theodora's eyes is engulfed in otherworldly fire, the other, a vessel of ancient evil, bores into you. A voice seeps directly into your brain without ever reaching your ears, and this voice booms with all the horrors of the warp.
Mortal, who are you to oppose the very flows of fate? It matters not. Your footfalls are an echo of the sand pouring between the scales. Your hopes and faith are my mockery.
You are to blame for Theodora's death?
I am the beginning and the end, and all that courses in between. I am the voice of the truth that is destined to triumph. For this triumph is the terminal point of every twisted maze of fate.
The aspirant vowed to return with a trophy, a relic that could serve the edge of daybreak. That fate was assured, and the steps chosen. And yet, you broke the unbreakable when you took the aspirant's place. I see you. On the day when the final dawn rises over the Iron World, I see you by my side on that day. The day of my resurrection.
Your image is woven into the tapestry of things to come. I am the will of the weaver of destinies, and today I will weave a new thread of elusive possibilities and fickle chances. The thread that will lead you out of the maw of irreversibility. The thread that will help you find the keys to salvation. The thread that will guide you and the weapon of our return to me.
The path is set, child of the dawn. The thread is woven. Follow it, servant of mine.
I am
Seneschal,
nobody's servant.
The navigator's sanctum is silent. The Vox signal is stable, which means...
The navigator gave his life battling the storm that nearly claimed the Von Valancius flagship. We will honor his memory, along with that of all who died this day.
Janet. Janet. Hi, Janet. Cat time for a moment. Here, let me see if she'll sit still long enough for me to get her on the camera. Nope. There she goes. Wait, hold on. Janet. Janet. Look at her. My pretty girl. Pretty girl. And she's leaving. Oh, no. Is she coming back? That's my Janet. That's my Janet. Okay. Bye, Janet. Cat time. Alright. Click, click.
Seneschal, we could tell us now. Who is that? Where's the Lord Captain?
As First Officer, it is my duty to inform you, with the greatest regret and indelible sorrow, that Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius is dead. May her memory never fade from the annals of the dynasty. By right of blood succession, and with the absence of other kin who could challenge this decision, it is hereby declared that the successor to Theodora von Valancius is her heir, the rightful inheritor of the Warrant of Trade, and the title of Rogue Trader. The official ascension ceremony will be held at a later time. In the interim, have you lost your tongues? Hail your lord. It is because of his toils that we all still live. The deed is done, Master. My apologies. I meant to say Lord Captain.
The treachery of the Master of Whispers was fruitless, but victory came at a great cost. Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius perished along with her heir, Edelthrad, and thousands of crew members. Yet hope remained. For the second in line to the Rogue Trader dynasty survived. To hang the ancestral banners once again, and exact vengeance on the enemies of House von Valancius and humanity.
No. I'll kind of. I've played the opening of this game, gotta be a dozen times, maybe more. But this is gonna be my first full playthrough. Once we are past Footfall, we'll be in territory I've never done before. It is, however, my first time playing as a officer. Having officer as a main character is new. Yeah. Your lordship. You had us worried for a few hours there, but after witnessing you fearlessly rush into the fray on deck, the only thing that surprises me is how long you stayed on your feet. Your strength only left you once the fighting was over. Such fortitude is most admirable in a Lord Captain. Oh, which ability did they change? You must now hold your first officer's briefing in your new role as Lord Captain. For many of those who are about to join us on the bridge, this will also be their first briefing. We have sustained massive losses among the senior and middle-ranking officers. Some posts have had to be filled by the deputy's deputy, while others go unfilled entirely, and now the deck clans are deciding who will take over the leaderless crews. What is on the agenda for this meeting? Reports on the condition of the ship and crew. The Lord Captain is not usually drawn away from her important affairs to attend such routine briefings, but this is a unique situation. I am still receiving updates from across the ship, and they are not encouraging. Getting this bird to fly could take a gargantuan effort, even so far as you personally negotiating with the authorities of the system we are currently in. So prepare to hear a bevy of complaints and excuses, your lordship. Take this opportunity to get a good look at the officers who work 6 decks away from the bridge, and they in turn will have the honor of beholding the visage of their Lord Captain. Oh, I do remember that ability. They actually didn't, I think they took that off of Officer and made it like a core ability for Master Grand Strategist. The one that puts down the different, like, zones, buff zones. Have you succeeded in tracking down Voitvir, Abelard? No, Lord Captain. In all the commotion, his trail went cold. Our people are still on the hunt for him and any mutineers who may still be skulking in the ship's many corridors. But frankly, I would not be surprised to hear that we are now 1 shuttle short. I am afraid that it will be some time before he answers all that he has wrought. Very well. Summon the officers, Abelard. I am ready to begin the briefing. Attention, officers. You have been granted an order. Lord Captain Phosphoros von Valancius will personally conduct today's briefing. Our most gracious Lord Captain is ready to hear your reports. Abelard, introduce those present. As you wish, your lordship. Vigdis Suri Ota of the Ptolemy line, our new Vox Master. It is an honor to serve, your lordship. Aboard this vessel, you have at your command thousands of crew members and hundreds of officers and section chiefs. I am responsible for receiving, processing, and sending all communication between you and them, as well as external sources. I am your eyes and mouth, Lord Captain. Beside her is Ravor, the Master Helmsman. He steers our ship along the course set by the Lord Captain and monitors the void around us to ensure that we do not stray into an asteroid field or a pirate trap. Hail, Lord Captain. This here ship's as good as home to me, so rest assured she's in safe hands. I'll die before I let her come to any grief. And lastly, our high factotum Janrus Danrock, who oversees supplies, procurement, and the general material well-being of the ship. It is an honor, your lordship. You may trust me with all matters concerning your comfort. Everything will be done to the highest standard. In the second row, we have the 3 officers charged with overseeing the ship's vital functions. The Master of Ordnance is responsible for the artillery aboard, the Infernus Master, whose crew work to prevent and extinguish fires on the ship, and lastly, the Drive Master, servant of the Omnissiah. The 3 officers salute you. The Infernus Master does so with confidence, while the Master of Ordnance betrays nervousness. The Drive Master offers a salute resembling a dance, involving the complicated manipulation of all the tech-priest mechadendrites. Is that everyone? Unfortunately, our choir master, the esteemed Zachary Weiss, head of the Astropath section, is unable to join us. I'm also going dogmatic, for the stream. I figured, noble-born officer, dogmatic kind of just fits best. He is in charge of communication with distant star systems. Master Weiss has been in a trance for some time now, attempting to contact the other planets in the Von Valancius Protectorate and inform them of Lady Theodora's passing and Kunrad Voitvir's treachery. I will deliver a report to your ladyship on the Astropath's progress as soon as it is possible to do so. It is equally regrettable that two more individuals worthy of mention could not join us at the briefing, the Master-at-Arms and Confessor Adelbart. The eminent Adelbart must see to the funeral services being held for the fallen officers, of whom there were too many for him to take leave from the chapel, and Mistress Sourback, who has replaced her late predecessor as our Master-at-Arms, is currently leading the search for any surviving agents of Voitvir. All others present are adjutants, secretaries, and deputies. They are here to make a record of the proceedings. Crime Lord Officer, I could see that working. I wish to hear the Infernus Master's report. Yes, Lord Captain. I can report that all fires across all decks have now been extinguished. The preliminary damage estimate, in terms of material losses and crew casualties, has been completed. The results have been submitted to the Seneschal and the High Factotum. The post passed to him after the previous Infernus Master and his next 3 deputies expired in the line of duty. The lad is managing well so far. He can take the heat, so to speak. High Factotum, what have you to report? Oh, we are toiling day and night to compile a full account of the losses. The task will require next to no involvement from your lordship. I will personally ensure that all damaged components are given into the tech priest's hands for attention, and that all lost supplies are replaced. There is only one resource that I cannot replenish single-handedly, and that is people. We have lost more than 2,000 crew members, and unfortunately, this number is not confined to the scum from the lower decks, which are easily replaced, but also includes trained professionals. We will be able to make up our losses on the nearest planet, Rycat Minoris. However, the planet, the whole system in fact, belongs to the Winterscale Rogue Trader dynasty. We cannot simply begin recruiting on the planet without first coming to an understanding with the governor. In that respect, I am powerless. Negotiations at this level are a matter for a rogue trader. Especially true given Caligos Winterscale's penchant for attacking first and asking questions later. The kind of thick-skulled thugs he usually installs as governors on his planets. Drive Master, I will hear from you now. Lord Captain, the foes that set upon this noble void ship destroyed the repositories of hundreds of machine spirits. The great warp engine entrusted into my charge is unharmed, thank the Omnissiah, but its spirit mourns its dead brethren. We have not yet identified a prayer protocol capable of assuaging its sorrow and anger. With great sorrow, I must report that the Engineer Prime, overseer and spiritual authority of all tech priests on board, fell in battle. The Magos was betrayed by the little flesh that remained part of him, a most terrible loss. There is no one among my comrades aboard whose experience and comprehension of the sacred protocols equals that of the fallen Magos. We require a replacement, and as soon as possible. I see. Thank you. The tech priest bows her head. Master Helmsman, deliver your status report. Right you are, Lord Captain. To cut a long story short, the outlook is bleak. The ship is sound, more or less, but without our Engineer Prime and Navigator, who fell in battle, we have no way out of the system. If we try to set so much as a toe inside the warp, I don't know what'll happen first, our warp drive being torn to pieces, or all of us melted into the bulkheads. Your Lordship, if you will allow me to interject, when we arrived in this system, my crew followed standard protocols and conducted a count of all available communication channels in the region. One of them was a Navis Nobilite station. The station maintains complete Vox silence, but even its presence here inspires hope. To have located a navigator in the very same system is an incredible stroke of luck, a true blessing from the God Emperor. If I were you, I'd grab this chance with both hands, or else you'll soon be eyeing up asteroids to use as your new residence. In slightly less shitty news, we can go round and round this system till our heads are swimming, as long as the Promethium and supplies last. And if any thick-as-grok shit lowlifes come sniffing around, we'll be able to take them out, so don't worry on that score. Master of Ordnance, do you have anything to add? No, my job's simple. Maintain the arsenal and fire where I'm told, but just ask anyone. We've got no able crew, Lord Captain. We've got no able crew, no Lord Captain. Master of Ordnance, you forget yourself. So what? Comes the officer's hostile and bitter reply. It is as if a dam has burst inside and all his pent-up emotions are rushing out of him. The ship's in ruins. Every second officer is dead, and now we've got a green Lord Captain who's supposed to lead us to void knows where? Silence! The bridge's magnificent glass panes seem to tremble under the force of Abelard's roar. Enforcers, seize this mutineer. If only one officer out of the whole lot has fallen to pieces, and that's not bad at all. Your lordship, I do humbly apologize on behalf of the entire crew. What would you have to do with the Master of Ordnance? The former Master of Ordnance, I should say. Besides find a replacement, that is, for we already have one lined up. Abelard, kill this man. Consider it done. Take him away. Get this man off my deck. I'm tired of looking at him. To summarize, we have sustained serious losses in crew, and we require a new Engineer Prime and Navigator. Is this all that is preventing us from continuing the voyage? Precisely, Lord Captain, but bear in mind that this will not be the end of our trials. The ship's systems must be properly inspected for major damage, which can only be carried out at Footfall Station, home to the only dockyard in the sector. But we will never reach Footfall without first solving these three immediate problems. What can you tell me about the system in which we currently find ourselves? I cede to the Voxmaster on this point, Mistress Ptolemy. We are in the Reichad star system, and our voyage here was undertaken on the orders of your lordship's predecessor. There are 3 inhabited bodies in the system, and our attempts to send Vox messages have produced confounding results. The Navis Nobility Station has not simply failed to answer, it seems to be maintaining total Vox silence. However, we did receive a distress signal from the prison planetoid in the system, and Reichad Minoris itself is also not responding to our hails. But what is most alarming is that our augurs have intercepted signals from the surface that seem to indicate ongoing hostilities on the planet. The situation is not very encouraging, but without a navigator, a tech priest, and new crew members, we won't be able to travel anywhere. Therefore, we must go to the planet and the Navis Nobility Station and find out what in the void is going on. Thank you all. Dismissed. Your lordship, there is one other thing. A confidential matter of the utmost importance. Lady Theodora, your eternally esteemed predecessor, brought the ship here, to this system, for a reason. She was given a secret commission. You, perhaps, are wondering who has the authority to commission a rogue trader to do anything, and I shall tell you. The Lord Inquisitor, the hand of the Emperor, the chief architect of his will in the Koronus Expanse. Actually, I found a letter. Is that relevant? Yes, quite right. XC, Xavier Calcazar. Lady Theodora was to seek out the Lord Inquisitor's right-hand man, one Heinrichs van Kalox, an interrogator, you understand. All I know is that he is somewhere in this system, and that we must find him and offer him whatever assistance he requires, and then deliver him to Footfall in the Furibundus system. Finding him without any more information to go on will be difficult indeed, but an Inquisitor is an important individual. The authorities in the system, either the Navis Nobility or the Governor of Reichad Minoris, may know something. That is all of it, your lordship. You have a great deal of work ahead of you, but it is a mere taste of the daily burden of a rogue trader. Soon you must take up the reins of the Von Valantius Protectorate. Abelard gives you another scrutinizing look, as if trying to gauge how long you will hold out under this mountain of problems. His face softens slightly, and it seems he's about to offer some words of encouragement, when some fuck shit happens. Because that all... Idira, Sister Argenta, explain yourselves. The Psyker is suffering some ailment, or dark madness. She insisted on seeing the rogue trader. I judged that it would be unwise to leave her unsupervised. I was also hoping to approach you with a personal request, but it can wait. Speak with me when you have time, rogue trader. Daybreak. Idira, come to your senses. Damn it. Idira presses her fingers to her temple in desperation. Your lordship, here's the thing. I was trying to see the immediate future, and it hit me so hard. My head's still spinning. Something very strange is heading our way, and I can't make out what it is, no matter how hard I try. A single word is all I can make out. Daybreak. Or maybe it's dawn. And it's ringing and ringing like an echo, like a bell. But if it's daybreak, then why is it so dark? We cannot extract any information of value from a single word. Can you tell us anything else, Mistress Class? No, not yet anyway. The voices are going berserk, all shouting at once. I can't make any sense of it. As soon as I know or sense anything, I'll report it. Lord Captain, if you want me to take a closer look into your future, find me on the bridge and we can talk. Lady Theodora was well served by my whispers on many occasions, and I'm sure you would benefit from them as well. Well, if there is nothing else of value to report, I declare this briefing concluded. It is time to get to work. Alrighty, okay. First off, set that to actually have things in the correct order. Alright, we have a bunch of people to talk to on the bridge here. But I think, because we've been going for a little over 3.5 hours now, I think that is where we're going to leave it for today, folks. Thank you for joining me as on the opening of this adventure. Thank you especially to Swamp Rat for showing up. Glad to see you in the chat. I'm always excited to see new people. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Rogue Trader. Yeah. Stay hydrated, everybody. Have a wonderful day.